Alright, let's go. Well, I thought the estate to be rather noisy this evening, and here I find a rare visitor among us. Never the matter, I shall permit you an audience. You may enter, modern exorcist. Oh, that scent! Just by smelling it is enough to make my head spin. Is this the same scent that Kate Sith used? No, a little different. Kate Sith used simple beast musk to interfere with mine, but this scent has human incense mixed in. Magic itself diluted so effect not instant, but this incense has a delaying effect that will slowly work on you. Lingering too long might be dangerous, Richard. So the longer I talk to her, the worse it'll get for me. I can't let myself get too bogged down in negotiations. And I do like her. Welcome, Exorcist. You have traveled a long way to visit this desolate mountain estate. I'd like to extend the warmest of welcomes to you from the bottom of my heart. It pains me to say that your abrupt visit has not permitted time to arrange suitable refreshments for you, but please, do not hesitate to make yourself at home. You're the legendary demon Jumo told of in Spyroom Village? Ho ho! Did you come to this mansion upon learning of me? Have those foolish villagers requested you defeat me? If that the case, must this sickly body of mine be put to use whipping the villagers back into place? They have to learn their lessons the hard way. No, that's not it at all. I come to ask a favor of you. It's true that I'm something similar to an exorcist, but prefer not to exorcise demons if I've not been requested to. If you would hear out my request, there's no reason for either of us to come to harm. Oh, what peculiar things you say. An exorcist who does not like pointless exorcisms. But judging from the serious look in your eyes, you do not appear to be here on mere whim. Very well, make your request. The child who came here the other day is suffering from your curse. I'd like you to lift that curse off him. He is still just a young boy. The strain placed on his body from being mentally manipulated and drained could be immense. Yaki-san told me that you're a demon who understands human values, a demon who can be reasoned with. Please, make the wise decision. An acquaintance of Yaki's. In that case, I am inclined to grant your request, although there will be a price. Such a young child is my precious butterfly, one that will sate my hunger. And I find it unpleasant to release even he without some form of recompense. I shall present you with my conditions. Should you find them acceptable, I shall proceed to release the child. What do you think about that? Understood. Let me hear your conditions. What a reasonable exorcist. The previous exorcist who came to defeat me could learn a thing or two from you. First, this has all been an accident. My magic webs are meant to catch unwary mountain travelers in distress. I never expected to find such a child caught amongst them. And speaking frankly, I do not like taking energy from children. They must be taught what sexual desire is, and their unstable minds make it difficult to adjust intensity correctly. I prefer to charitably offer a bed to lost humans. My intention is never to expose human lives to any danger. In these modern times, I hear there are more demons imprinting the pleasure of the first time for such children. I much prefer young men of your age. Men honest to their lust, with no hesitations about intercourse between a man and a woman, obedient butterflies who flutter to me at my call. You understand the implication behind my words, do you not? What my condition will be? Surely you are not so dull as to have failed to discern the feelings behind my confession thus far? Wait, are you saying you want me to take the boy's place and be drained in exchange for releasing him? Oh wow, for once you're being seduced without any emblem effect. I am still of a rather sickly disposition. I can place my webs within the mansion, but I cannot take even a single step outside this room. As a result, I only get a few people a year, generally lost mountain climbers who have run into trouble, or, more rarely, a vagabond tired of living. Demons can live without issue in the absence of food or essence, but magical beasts such as I have urges, hungers. If you would satisfy my hunger with your youthful vigor, then I will ask no more of you. I am painfully aware that this is a somewhat selfish request, but what do you think about that as a compromise to save the young child's life, Exorcist? Accept her request. Wonderful. I do so adore playing to children and men like you. It reminds me of that man. Back then, I was so caught up in my selfish desires I made him weak of heart. This time, I promise to exercise more self-restraint. And that goes for this promise as well. I will release the curse from that child in exchange for drained essence from you. I commend your sensible decision. We have made a respectable transaction. There's nothing to feel ashamed about. Now, entrust your body to me for this one night. Cuckoo. It has been some time since I had the essence of a human man. And what timing! I've just grown tired of the food the children of men. Now then, Exorcist, approach. Be not afraid, for I shall not devour you, though I will devour your essence. Judging from that look, it would seem you have been contending with some rather ill-mannered demons of late. You do not trust my words at all. Your nature as an exorcist is filling you with much suspicion that you may be subject to a surprise attack. Harboring such feelings will numb you from truly feeling pleasure from me. It makes slaying with you a chore for me. First I shall have to disabuse you of such an attitude. As with Cave Sith, I go to take a stance to repel a magic attack. But doing that would just be pointless. Like normal, my body quickly relaxes, and I unconsciously let out a trembling voice. Oh, what is this? I thought it was... My scent is quite unique, since it is based on incense from the human realm. Very little magic is involved. If I were to describe it in today's language, it would be a perfume, or cologne, perhaps. Consequently, it relaxes the human mind rather than arousing it. Even if an exorcist such as yourself did not anticipate this approach, did you? Though it was only natural for you to expect an attack of some kind. Now, once again, I bid you to approach. Let us spend an enjoyable time together. Okay. With no control over my body now, I approach Jumo within steady steps. With a half look of resignation on my face, Jumo lets out an unpleasant laugh. With a closer look, I can see you have quite the delicious looking face and body. This evening seems like it'll be anything but boring. Here, I will relax you even more. This time I shall use a more demonic method an exorcist will be very familiar with. My vision! What's that? Your vision has grown dim? Of course. That was the result of my magic. With how you were already relaxed, such a point-blank attack when your mind is open would be too much even for an exorcist. Boing! I cannot hold myself back anymore. Hurry up and touch me, Richard Dono. There's no need to hold back. To save that child, you must indulge in your lust. Goo, that was delicious. Human men really are the only ones overflowing with so much essence. That completes our agreement. As you requested, I shall lift the curse off that child. At any rate, you cannot move to your satisfaction in your current state. You may spend the night here with me. Oh, what's this? You appear your manhood is still far from sated. What you want to do, you're free to indulge in more of me, though it will be outside the scope of our agreement. I'll draw you deeper and deeper into my clothing, binding you within. There you will almost be unable to live without my embrace. Ugh. Good morning, Richard. A nice morning, huh? Where am I? Is this the Antec chamber? Yeah, that right. You sleeping in the same futon praying mother laid out for that child. Because you would be endlessly aroused by being in that room, Jumo had subordinate carry you in here. I stayed a while to watch after you fainted, and Jumo definitely lifted curse off child. That completes village head's request. And all that's left is to finish my business here. There should be an entrance to MOW's facility somewhere in this mansion. None of the others said they left via what they called an emergency exit. Let's look for it by exploring a little deeper into the mansion. Though a facility emergency exit, they can't hang around long considering Jumo, so they probably couldn't put it somewhere that complicated. But I can't imagine wandering spirits around entrance will be weak if we go further in. Don't let guard down, Richard. Well, if it isn't Richard Dono. Jumo told me of you. What business do you have in this part of the estate? The samurai estate is kept clean and organized on order of our master, Jumo. Consequently, there are no tricks or contrivances waiting for you ahead. But in order to entice visitors to enter, our master may relocate miasma around the entrance to here. This results in the hallways becoming more convoluted, as well as powerful wandering spirits to wander them. Much like their brethren outside the mansion, they rage violently against all. Our voices unable to reach them. It is most lamentable. Though the wandering spirits ahead may be large, every single one of them has a weakness to ice. I hope that information is of use to you. Indeed it is. Not that I'll probably use it. Ah, samurai! A samurai warrior wielding a magic sword. I recall this one loops around, so... Jumo to the former lord? Oh, you heard that from the people of my old village, didn't you? My master never had any intention of hurting the old lord. The suggestion she devoured him is absurd. I served that lord in my past life, and Jumo was almost like a devoted wife to him. And as for my lord, he was actually much more energetic than he was before meeting her. But her failing was that he neglected too many of his feudal obligations to spend time with her. Being that devoted would turn even the most valiant of men spineless within a few days. She would provide him with anything he asked of her. Ever since then, Jumo has been focused entirely on expanding her knowledge, and spends much of her time reading and haggling with a merchant. I'm certain that Jumo of today would not repeat those same mistakes. Alright, continuing on. Ah, a stronger one, huh? You've encountered Praying Mother? The pity of my master allowed for that wretched wandering spirit to remain in this estate. That wandering spirit's resentment is so powerful that ordinary modern exorcists are unable to fully purify it. It is a collection of spirits wandering in search of their children that are no longer with us. Jumo took pity on those spirits and allowed them free run of the estate so long as they did not harm any humans. That condition held regardless of whether the human in question were an adult or exorcist. Having said that, although Praying Mother is being of powerful regrets, its actual nature is meek. Please do not look upon it too harshly. If you approach it without hostility and treat it kindly, it too will reciprocate such feelings honestly. Being a lesser demon, its thought processes are not overly sophisticated after all. That's the air one, I believe. Alright, that's where we need to go, I believe. I do love those things. Some money. Why is the Praying Mother in the form of a praying mantis? Does that interest you as an exorcist? As the name suggests, praying mantises were named after their posture resembling a prayer to the gods, only reinforced by their habit to remain motionless as they wait for prey. According to Jumo, it may be the result of the posture of the wet nurses in their final moments as they begged for the lives of their charges, a pose that was projected into the praying mantises in the region. A dreadful story, wouldn't you say? Such a tragic event might not have happened if those of us who served that former lord had been around. No. Please forget such fleeting talk of what-ifs, Exorcist. Hmm? Did I see three demons lately? I saw them only just the other day. Though at that time, they simply rummaged around in the corner of a room and then left. Being suspicious characters, I reported them to Juma, but she told us to leave them be. Well, from what I saw, they didn't seem overly interested in us. Are they perhaps friends of yours, Exorcist? Alright, let's go. A hatch to somewhere underground has been removed from a part of the floor. It's clearly not an original part of the mansion. Looking closely, there's what looks like a firewall ladder held down by. Looking closely, there looks to be like a farewell letter held down by rocks next to the hatch. I should unpruned the letter and read it. To Richard Dinner. I thought you might not understand, so I went ahead and opened this hatch while you were preoccupied with your fun. But as I mentioned before, the inside is full of wandering spirits rather than people. It will not be easy to explore, even for a holy man such as yourself. But if you're not completely sure that you're right, I recommend returning to town and prepare more thoroughly. May you find fortune in your battles to come, Meg. Meg. She went out of the way to slip out of the emblem and open the floor. That because those three can't act unless at night. But writing such prim and proper letter is very conscientious. What W's facility is down there? Or at the very least, the place I used to operate in. It's finally happening. You finally going to learn mystery behind emblem and past. I not know what kind of wandering spirits prowl down there, but like Claire said, don't neglect preparations. I think we're fine. Let's go.